This is KVUE News Daybreak.
Worried about their water. The tense, emotional meeting over unsafe fluoride water levels in Gerald. And it was a late night for the Austin School Board. 40 projects approved, but no actual vote. Why they decided to wait. And we feel it here in Texas. Yep, it's hot, but across the country, some have it worse. Extreme heat that's causing a halt at the airport. Good morning, and thank you for watching KVUE News Daybreak at 4:30. I'm Yvonne Nava. Well, let's talk about that heat, and let's see what we're tracking with Storm Team meteorologist Erica Lopez. Hi there.
Good morning, Yvonne. Yeah, we have it easy here in Central Texas. Nothing like the folks west of us. And also in terms of rain shower activity, we're pretty quiet also. Just some light showers south and east of us around the Houston metro area. But notice our viewing area pretty quiet to start off your day after the scatter showers we had yesterday. Here's a look at just outside of our KVUE studios. Current temperatures right now 77 for Camp Mabry, 75 at ABIA, and dew points not too bad in the 60s. So we're getting a break from those 70-degree dew points. As far as today, partly cloudy this morning, turning into a mostly sunny afternoon. Highs in the 90s, still slightly above average, but we should stay in the mid to upper 90s. Heat index values around 100 degrees, so we've had worse, but keep in mind it's still going to be a warm one out there. A northeast wind is keeping the heat index on the moderate side. We can thank that drier north air mass that's going to be in our viewing area for a couple more days to keep things modest here in Central Texas. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much. Well, Senate Democrats held a late-night talkathon for over 6 hours last night over the way their Republican colleagues are crafting their replacement for Obamacare. As ABC's Serena Marshall reports, Democrats are furious they aren't involved in the process.
It's a Senate standoff. Democrats taking over the floor, halting business as usual.
What are you afraid of? Bring that bill out.
People are literally in tears on the phone. They are scared and they are angry.
The President of the United States called it mean.
And a talkathon effort to bring the Republican health care bill out from behind closed doors. A group of 13 Republican senators have been working on their repeal and replace of the Affordable Care Act for weeks and hope to get it to the floor for a vote before the end of the month. Democrats furious with the secrecy.
Is the chair aware of the number of consecutive days in session and the number of hours that the Senate considered H.R. 3590, the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act?
The Secretary of the Senate's office notes that H.R. 3590 was considered on each of 25 consecutive days of session, and the Senate Library estimates approximately 169 hours in total consideration.
25 days of consecutive session on a bill that was partisan in the sense that Republicans were angry with it, but we still had the courage to have a debate on the floor.
Hoping to force open discussion and a hearing.
Since this is a complicated bill, to review the bill, will it be available to us and the public more than 10 hours before we have to vote for it?
I think we'll have ample opportunity to read and amend the bill.
Will it be more than 10 hours?
I think we'll have ample opportunity to read and amend the bill.
I rest my case.
And it's not just Democrats. Republican lawmaker Marco Rubio on CBS Sunday warning against rushing to a vote.
The Senate is not a place where you can just cook up something behind closed doors and rush it for a vote.
Serena Marshall, ABC News, New York.
Meanwhile, Austin leaders want a judge to step in and stop Senate Bill 4. The law, which would allow police to question the immigration status of anyone they detain, goes into effect September 1st. And now the U.S. Department of Justice may join the SB 4 lawsuit. No pleadings have been filed, but given President Trump's stance on immigration, Mayor Adler believes the Department of Justice will argue in favor of SB 4. Mayor Adler and several members of council filed briefs with the federal court yesterday. They argue the law is unconstitutional. They also say it will hurt residents and make the city less safe.
If you value family values, if you value hard work, if you value people that risk everything to better the lives of themselves and their families, if you basically value the American dream of prosperity, you should be appalled by SB 4.
Well, those in favor of SB 4 do not believe it targets or discriminates against illegal immigrants. Austin is one of several cities using the state over, or rather suing the state, I should say, over SB 4. SB4. Now, they will be in court in San Antonio next Monday. The CEO of South by Southwest is standing behind Mayor Adler in support of the lawsuit against SB4. They sent us a statement saying, quote, "We are concerned that SB4 will substantially limit the participation of U.S. citizens and foreign nationals in South by Southwest and limit the diversity and quality of the event. This decrease in participation will also diminish our substantial economic contribution to the city of Austin and the state of Texas." Well, there are many questions this morning surrounding the horrifying death of American student Otto Warmbier. He was held captive in North Korea for 17 months and died just days after being released home to the U.S. He was sentenced to 15 years hard labor after officials in North Korea claimed he was working to defame the country. Last week, Otto was carried off of a plane, unable to walk, talk, or respond to verbal commands. Doctors say they saw no evidence of physical beatings or of botulism, which North Korean officials claim Otto contracted after taking a sleeping pill. But the family just isn't buying it.
Even if you believe their explanation of botulism and a sleeping pill causing the coma, and we don't, there is no excuse for any civilized nation to have kept his condition secret.
It is not yet clear what impact his death will have on the already tense situation between the U.S. and North Korea, but at least one top Republican wants to ban tourist travel to the country after Warmbier's death. Austin police are investigating a rape and robbery case out of Northeast Austin. Police say 5 female victims went to an apartment complex in Northeast Austin on Friday night to pick up drugs, and they were zip-tied, raped, and robbed. One of the victims was able to get away and call 911. Altogether, there are 4 suspects involved in this case. 2 of the men accused of the crime are behind bars this morning. 19-year-old Christopher Jaramillo of Austin is charged with aggravated sexual assault, aggravated kidnapping, and aggravated robbery. 23-year-old Dimitri Rogers, also from Austin, is charged with aggravated kidnapping and aggravated robbery. Police have warrants out for a 3rd suspect, 20-year-old Emmanuel Greer, and 4th suspect who has yet to be identified. A 15-year-old boy is behind bars this morning in connection with the murder of a 17-year-old in New Braunfels on Saturday night. Police say they charged the 15-year-old male from Marion with the murder of Conrad Kuntz. Officials say they believe he fired the gun that killed Kuntz. Authorities did not say what may have sparked the shooting, but they did say that the two had mutual friends. 4:37 is your time, and the death of a Travis County inmate is under investigation this morning. 21-year-old Herman Titus was taken to the hospital yesterday in critical condition and then died shortly after. Evidence collected so far does not suggest foul play was involved, but due to the recent passage of the Sandra Bland Act, the Texas Rangers will conduct an independent investigation. That law calls for more training for officers and jailers on mental health issues of prisoners in Texas. Titus was booked into the jail in May, charged with intoxication assault and a parole violation. People living in a Gerald community outraged over high levels of fluoride in their drinking water. Residents showed up at the Sonterra Mud headquarters last night to air their frustrations and concerns.
And I think the lesson for us is if you're working hard but not communicating, it's not happening. In the end, we can't go backwards, but moving into the future, we think we're much better prepared, and we stand behind our water source here in Sonterra.
Well, mud managers explained that they have multiple solutions in the works, including new wells. And according to MUD, the water levels are currently within the EPA guidelines for safe drinking water. Now let's talk about American Airlines. They're hoping their planes will be ready for takeoff in Arizona today after extreme heat caused some difficulties yesterday. The airline had to cancel at least 20 flights stopping through the city. That's because temperatures reached around 120 degrees. Airline officials say extremely hot temperatures make it hard for planes to take off from the ground. All right, let's take a look at our forecast and see how high those temperatures are going to get.
Well, they're not going to be as bad as what we've seen the last several days. As of this morning, things are mild, just slightly above average. We've definitely had worse starts to our mornings because this morning we're seeing 60s for your current temperatures across the hill country. It's been a good several mornings since we've been in the 60s. Enchanted Rock looks like you're the coolest right now at 66 degrees. Closer to 80 degrees for our central counties in Austin at 77 and lower 70s for Buda, San Marcos, Driftwood, also Taylor at 73. As we travel a little bit further east, LaGrange, 78 degrees. And then some isolated spots are in the lower 70s also, such as Lockhart and Cedar Creek. Let's talk about the next several days. Temperatures will be bearable under the triple-digit mark, but it's still going to feel like we're in the triple digits. We're going to get a break from, say, heat index values on the higher side, near 100 for the next couple of days, because humidity levels are slightly lower due to a northeast wind in place. But by Friday, that's the warmest day we'll experience this week so far. 99 degrees is your forecasted high, and also talking heat index values at about 105. Just a reminder, summer solstice officially is at 11:24. That's the point where the sun will be at its northernmost point on the Tropic of Cancer. That means summer officially starts. So the day length for today, meaning the sunshine we'll have today, is 14 hours and 6 minutes. Same case tomorrow, but Yvonne, fun fact, tomorrow is actually the longest day in terms of sunshine because we will have less than a second more of daylight than what we'll have today.
Oh, that makes a huge difference.
It does. Hey, you know what? It does.
Yeah, I like it. Awesome. Thank you. Well, today is the first meeting of the new City of Austin LGBTQ Quality of Life Advisory Commission. Last year, Mayor Steve Adler called for the formation of the panel to help protect the community from discrimination and help improve the quality of life. The launch of the commission occurs during National LGBT Pride Month. That meeting is at 5:30 today at City Hall. A Texas woman has found a way of keeping Alzheimer's at bay, the hobby she's using to help herself and bring others joy.